Hi, in this video I'm going to show an interesting idea in Caro Kann as white. So it starts at d4, c6, knight d2, now d5. So this 92 move is very unusual, and I've played a couple of games with it. It's not particularly that good if black knows what to do against it, to be honest. But knowing, well, after e5, the bishop f5, this is not actually the main move. Bishop f5 is what white wants you to play. So bishop f5 looks like a perfectly normal move, and you wouldn't know that it runs into trouble straight away. The best move for black is actually play c5 here, where white can try to play c4 and play like this, so it's not too bad. Or you could play c3 and d4. Or play d4 and after takes, play knight takes. A couple of ways to play it. It's not too bad for white, but it's not that great either. Bishop f5 is played pretty much all the while, but now you get knight g3, bishop g6, h4. This is pretty much forced. h6, h5. So now bishop comes back to h7. So it's a typical idea in Caro Kann. But now we play e6 straight away. So after f has to take, f takes e6. Obviously black can't really allow, doesn't want white to take on f7, and the move like f6 is just completely rubbish. It just blocks everything in. So he has to take this pawn. And now d4. So the idea is now to play bishop to d3, where we're going to trade off the bishop. So after bishop takes, queen takes, and then we're going to use this g6 square, which is going to be very weak. And we want to put a knight on d2, f3 and e5. Black's going to be struggling, especially when we can lock this pawn here. Often you see black just getting rid of this pawn straight away, the e5, where I don't think this is actually not the best move, because with e5 then white can just take this, and even though he plays e6 and gets this bishop out, white gets a very nice position now. He's just level on material. And he gets his position, even though the bishop doesn't take on d3. So say, I don't know, knight came to d7, then we can just take and play queen d3 ourselves. And rook's going to have to move and play queen g6, so it's no good. So bishop's going to have to take on d3, and then queen takes d3. And we see that white's got a very nice position here. Knight's probably have to go to e7, and then, you know, he's put the knight, just go around this way maybe. Got a long plan. You can play f4, f5 right now, straight away. Number of different plans here, or maybe quicker plans to play knight back to g3 into e2. Get rid of all these arrows. So knight e2 and into f4 also looks reasonable. If I was white here, I'd play this plan personally. It looks a bit long, but black can't really do anything about it. The knight can't move. Therefore, the bishop's not going to be able to get out, and he's got to make sure you don't lose this f4 pawns. Probably play f4, then knight f3. And black's pretty tied down. So therefore, after d4, so we have this move of bishop d3, and say if knight f6, this looks perfectly normal. Bishop d3. Now bishop takes, queen takes. We already see the plan of queen to g6 check, and the knight comes around into e5 on a strong outpost. And it's hard for black to play as queen d6, probably have to be played, but just queen check, king to d8. And then we can start. I'm wondering whether you probably play f4 here, but just to make sure he doesn't play e5. If you can prevent e5, then his bishop's never going to come out, which means that yes, you're pawn down at the moment, then but technically black's a piece down because his bishop can't get out, his rook then also can't get out. So yeah, f4 it looks weakening, but this looks necessary, and then you can start putting your knight onto d2, f3, and then into e5. Problem for going knight to 2 immediately is black might be able to play e5 straight away. White may have some knight f5 stuff, but I don't know. I prefer to play a bit more solidly. Play f5 and squash him. So yeah, that's pretty much it in this line. It's not really, there's no theory really on it. This is just the idea. You play with this bishop d3 against really anything black does, even though it plays knight d7 to play bishop d3, take, and obviously this is checkmate. So yeah, black will have to play like queen b6 here, but yeah, white seems to be doing fine in all these lines. You can play queen g6, check now, probably stopping castling. And then maybe c3 and f4, or just take on e6. So there's numerous possibilities. It's a very good surprise weapon for your opponent, especially if they try playing Caro Kann when you know that they, say if you're prepared against your opponent, and they play, so they normally play a Sicilian Najdorf, but then because they know you've prepared against them, they decide to play the Caro Kann. It's knight e2 is then probably a good option, because then they probably know that the bishop f5 is what you play in the sort of advanced variation, and you can get a very good position. It's not that c5 is not bad for white. It's just a bit more. It's a bit equal. So even off c5, you can still play d4, f4. It depends how you want to play it. So you can play g3, bishop g2. So, yeah, as I said earlier, there's a number of ways to play this. Sort of go transpose back into like a wing gambit with b4. But yeah, anyway, it's a very interesting line nevertheless, and hope you get to play it in the future and get good results as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.